I was born in Israel, seventh generation on my mother's side and second generation on my father's side. I came to America in the late 70s and to New York just at the end of 79, beginning of 1980. I showed with Holly Solomon. Holly Solomon has been my dealer from 1981, 82 until she passed away, which was when, like 4 years ago. This is from mid-80s. That was kind of my first years in America, coming to grips with this new culture. Israel for me was a country that was full of intimacy, and then I came here and everything was vast and corporate, and I started getting interested in Americana and in regionalism because it seemed more intimate. I remember seeing those Pennsylvania Dutch barns that had paintings on the outside, and it inspired this piece. This sculpture is called Funeral TV. I did it with Namjoon Paik in 91. In Chinatown, when you were cremated, apparently you were cremated with these cardboard replicas of everything of this life. Don Quixote Segunda Parte. Don Quixote Part 2. Cervantes wrote Part 1 in 1600, and then stopped writing for one reason or another. Another writer, Alfonso Villaneda, wrote The Adventures of Don Quixote and Sancho, I think in 1614. In 1615, Cervantes responded with his Part 2. And in Cervantes' Part 2, in the Mise en Scène, Don Quixote and Sancho are holding the book by the other guy. So you have these fictional characters holding a real book about them. And for me this was phenomenal because it was really the power of the author, the power of narration. One day it's in your mind and the next it's part of everyone else's consciousness, vocabulary. It was a great cultural shock to begin with. The encounter with American art. I had this idea to almost to retell the story of New York school painting through the compositions of Asian carpets. These paintings, for example, they're called Gardens for the Global City. They're all based on Asian carpets, and they're painted in reverse, like reverse paintings on glass. They're painted from the back, through the screen with oil paint, to the front. Always seeing through, always passing through. And I'll leave it to you to take it from there. I never really belonged to the acceptable movements of the moment as they happened. I was not part of the New Figuration. I was not part of Neo-Expressionism. I was not part of the picture show. I was always my own guy. These Madonna and Child paintings also on the screens. Madonna and Child, but the child is not there. There's the absence of the child. Also the absence of the chair on which the Madonna is sitting. And it's a series that I've been working on and developing in the last 10 years or so. I mean, this work on the surface seems to have a great deal of technological invention as well, such as this printing machine. It's a vertical printer I had my friend Jacob Lee basically invented for me for this project. It took quite a bit of perseverance and many years to develop it. This room of painted veils is something that started a collaboration with a Kashmiri poet called Agha Shahid Ali. This body of work is called Veiled Threats. Each room will correspond to one of Shahid's poems. This is the first room of the series that I just finished. When we decided to collaborate on this, the veil seemed to be the place where both of our cultures, Jewish and Muslim, would meet. It was kind of a wonderful moment of discovery. It seems like everybody has these stories of loss. This room is kind of about it. The theater of war, the people sitting at the White House looking at the world. I'm having a very intense dialogue with Shahid's poems, and I'm going to keep making these rooms until I feel that I've exhausted my conversation with his texts.